at y'all, bro. I found a lizard in my house, man. And, you know, we had to do some IRL monster hunting, bro. I got the tail cut, dog. Look at the tail cut. I was really hoping he wasn't going to detach his tail. But, IRL monster hunter, bro. I'm finna get my cars off this, huh?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day this video finds you. It's your boy Jay here, and what you just watched was a video that I shared on Twitter. I'll have my Twitter link down below. You can go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I shared this link in my Twitter after having an adventure finding a lizard in my house, right? Now, this lizard should be glad that I found it and not one of my dogs, because the dogs would have ate that bad boy. But lizards have this like self-defense mechanism where if they feel like they're being preyed upon, they will actually like sever their own tail, right, in an effort to get the prey to attack the tail rather than the lizard itself. So the lizard gets to live another day, right? And I had a feeling that this lizard would do this, right? Because I was chasing this lizard around my house, trying to get it out the house because I didn't want one of the dogs to eat it and maybe like get sick or something. So I was like, all right, let me capture this lizard. You know, no shock trap, no pitfall, no tranks. Had a glove on, but I had to grab that bad boy. Let me capture this lizard and then take it outside and set it free. So while I was chasing it around, it decided to ditch its tail, and then now it's doing the wiggling that you're seeing here, right? So I basically had this real life Monster Hunter experience inside my own house, you know, and I was like, hey, it's kind of funny. Let me put it on Twitter. Let me make a little IRL Mon Hunt joke. It's cool. But while I was on Twitter, one of my followers, you know, they liked the joke, whatever. They dropped me a like and they put this tweet right here. I wish there was a monster in Monster Hunter where the tail fights back when you cut it. Imagine it like grows back over the hunt and is used for area denial. And I was like, yo, that's actually a bomb ass idea, because in real life, that's what happens to the lizard, right? So the lizard that lost its tail in my house, I set it outside, I set it free. Now, if it lives long enough, it will actually grow back that tail, right? And as you can see in the video, the tail is still moving, right? It's not like in Monster Hunter where you cut a tail, it's just laying there on the ground, letting you carve it. So this idea was like, oh, dog, that's so cool. So I took this idea and I really thought about it. I let it stew in my brain a little bit, and I was like, oh, I got it. Monster Hunter does not have any octopus monsters. We can draw inspiration from the octopus that walks on land, right? It lives in this like climate where it rains often and there's like shallows. So there's an octopus that actually walks on land. And what if we brought a monster inspired by actual lizards where you cut the tail off or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And an octopus, it's got 8 limbs, it's gonna walk around on the land, and you could cut the tentacles off and then the tentacles will regrow back later on in the hunt, like how the lizard does. Bro, wouldn't that be sick, bro? That would be a bomb ass monster to interact with. And then when you cut a tentacle off, it's still moving and writhing and attacking, and maybe, you know, you gotta avoid it during the hunt for a little bit of time before it stops moving, and then you can carve it, right? So there's no more hero carving. You gotta wait to get your carves, otherwise you're gonna be attacked. Oh my god, bro, this idea hit me and I was like, bro, I gotta put this in the video. I gotta put this out there and ask what y'all think about that. But that's not the whole point of this video. We're gonna be a bit more forward thinking with it. But I don't know, I just like that idea, right? But this led me down another rabbit hole, thinking about how Monster Hunter Wilds could improve the current system when it comes to breaking parts on a monster, or cutting tails off, or breaking the head, or whatever, right? And the first monster that comes to mind when it comes to part breaking, and that's going to be Barioth, right? So Barioth in the beginning of his hunt is, you know, he's a bit of a crackhead. He's all over the place. He's jumping around. He's very hard to deal with. But if somebody came to me and was like, bro, how do I take down Barioth? I would tell them, break the wing arms, right? Because when you break the wing arms, the monster gets less accurate. He starts sliding around all over the place, and it gives you more openings and makes his hunt much easier to do because he's not as accurate with his movement anymore. And now you get more openings to deal more damage, right? And monsters like that is great, right? And we've had examples of that in Monster Hunter already. You know, at one point, cutting off Arathian's tail means she can't poison you anymore. You know, breaking the chest of a Basarios makes it a weak point now. Busting the chin off of an Uragon makes it soft enough so that Blade Masters can hit him, blah, 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 blah. There's many examples of this in Monster Hunter, and that's cool, but most of them make the monster easier, right? which is cool. They reward you for targeting a specific part and breaking a part, and now the hunt has changed. I kind of want to see Monster Hunter Wilds lean into that a little bit more, and maybe use the more power of the consoles that we're working with now. We got PS5, we got Xbox One, Series X, you know what I'm saying? We got strong consoles now. Maybe we can have more complicated AI where sometimes you break apart and maybe the monster AI changes up the move set, and maybe the monster gets a little harder to fight, right? Because the monster realizes like, oh, I'm taking all this damage, fighting with this hunter, and now it gets a bit more desperate, right? Kind of like, a cornered animal starts to really start attacking, starts to show its true colors. Maybe after you break a couple parts, the monster, unlocks a desperation move or something where it does something out of the ordinary and really surprises you, or it unlocks a new move where like, oh, let's just use, Rathalos for an example. Rathalos can't use this, big fireball attack until you break its head, because now it's in a desperation type mode, right? Where it's like, oh, it realizes I could die if I don't do something crazy, which makes the monster behave a bit more erratically, makes it do crazier moves, or maybe it'll chain moves together that it didn't chain before, because as the fight goes on and on, it realizes it's getting closer to death, so it starts to pull out all the stops to really take down the hunter so it could live and go off and do its thing in nature, you know what I mean? So that's just something I was really thinking about, like, man, a lot of the part breaks that currently exist in Monster Hunter make the hunts easier. Like, what if we had to fight a monster and avoid breaking a part because the AI changes it so much, it's almost like a different fight after you break the head, because the monster gets desperate and changes up its moveset. What do y'all think about something like that? Oh, I think I'd really like it. I think it would really, change the way hunters prepare for a fight and approach a fight, right? Maybe, you start telling your teammates, hey, stop attacking the head, or maybe you save it for the end of the hunt. Or maybe, you break the head and then you capture it immediately so that you don't have to deal with the new move set. I think it could throw an interesting wrench into the way hunters, go up against a monster. Now, I know like my speedrunners probably won't like it because, they like to really nail down a monster's move set. But those of us who play it a bit more casually than that really would enjoy like the feeling of actually fighting an animal, getting desperate, trying to save its life, pulling out all the stops, reacting to what's going on in front of us, rather than, having this script, which is, something that speedrunners kind of do. I don't know, I was just spitballing, but this little thing that happened to me in real life led me down a rabbit hole of thinking about Monster Hunter, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to share my thoughts and put this out there for you. But the real content is you guys in the comments. Drop comments down below about anything you said or saw here today. Did you know that lizards in real life really do that with their tails? Hey, comment down below. What do you think about the desperation attacks that I'm talking about? What do you think about making a monster actually harder instead of easier as you break parts off of it? Let me know in the comments down below. I plan on replying to each and every comment that hits this video at least once. And as always, happy hunting. Peace.